I would agree that some areas need better lighting. NAU is taking action. Chris Jansen reports.
This is one of NAU's blue lights. This emergency phone is its companion. They seem a simple pair, but are a symbol of something much larger: safety. But rather than feeling safe when walking under NAU's outdoor lights at night, student Yale Stewart says she feels uncomfortable due to inadequate lighting.
Really, it is scary walking, late at night anyways. Without adequate lighting, it's even worse.
The Associated Students for Women's Issues also feel lighting is inadequate. President Amy Blakeney says there aren't enough emergency phones.
We do feel that there should be more emergency phones on the NAU campus. There is a goal with the emergency phones to put one at each location, so if you're standing at one, you can see the next light. Okay.
Blakeney says the ASWI conducts research to find where more lighting and emergency phones are needed and then notifies the proper departments on campus. NAU Risk Management Representative Chuck Milam says more emergency phones are being added to the NAU campus.
Right now we have 34 that are up and working on our campus, and within the next month we're going to have 8 more added to that, which will give us a grand total of 42.
Milam says that more lighting and more emergency phones will be added as funding becomes available. The ASWI will continue to cooperate to eliminate any areas of poor lighting. Chris Jansen, Newswatch 4.
The ASWI expects the improved lighting to decrease the number of crimes against women on campus.
NAU dining services may be more flexible than you think. The organization wants to make sure that all students get the food and service they want. They will continue to make changes just to do that. Chris Jansen has more on this story.
College students from all corners of the nation usually have a few common complaints: homesickness, trouble adjusting, the food. NAU Dining Services conducted a survey last year to ensure that at least NAU students are satisfied with their meal options. Dining Services, operated by Marriott, made several changes as a result of the survey, including what Director of Operations Mike Hoeing considers a successful attempt to provide more healthy meal options.
One of the knocks that we got out of that survey was that it's not real healthy to eat on campus, and that's a perception that people have that really isn't true. There's a lot of good options for you out there.
Hoeing cited several other changes, including how Central Dining has become a better place to eat under the management of Ed Gentry. Mountain Jack's had a complete menu change and now serves only inexpensive Mexican food, and the business hours of some restaurants have been extended. Hoeing says changes like these will continue with feedback from students on ways to remain up to date.
And we want to be new and exciting all the time. So I think you're going to see a lot more change from NAU Dining Services than maybe if you've been here for 4 years than you've seen for a while. We want to be on the cutting edge.
Chris Jansen, Newswatch 4. Most students remember the NAU Fieldhouse as a site of the problem-plagued arena registration for the fall semester. If you're looking for a way to avoid a repeat of the experience, NAU has some good news for you: pre-registration. Any student can register early for the 1995 spring semester between October 24th and November 4th at one of the registration windows in the Gamage building. Registrar Pat Martin says not only does pre-registering give students a better chance of getting the classes they want, it also helps the university. Pre-registration shows the demand for each course, which the university can then act upon.
An opportunity to attempt to meet that demand. The departments have 2 weeks to try to offer additional sections of a course, increase enrollment sections of a course.
Registrar Representative Molly Long says students who pre-register can win prizes for their early action.
We've gotten sponsors to sponsor each day of registration, and the sponsors will will provide prizes for the students, and there'll be drawings at the end of the day.
Long says the necessary pre-registration materials can be picked up in any academic department. She stresses the need to have the materials signed and stamped by an advisor before coming to pre-register. Any questions can be answered by the registrar's office. Chris Jansen, Newswatch 4.
NAU shuttle drivers have some opinions about campus traffic.
The university is inaugurating its first female president.
Abused children are looking for a place to call home.
And Senator DeConcini tells us what he found out from some Iraqi rebel groups.
Coming to you from the studios at Northern Arizona University, the state's only live student-run newscast covering campus and local issues, the award-winning Newswatch 4.
Complaints about traffic congestion on campus are leaving many students wondering what is the best transportation solution. Good evening and welcome to Newswatch 4 at 6 o'clock. I'm Chris Jansen.
And I'm Marika Van Fleet. Sarah Morris and Stephen Williams have the night off. ASNAU representatives say they are working on ways to ease campus traffic. Some of the suggestions are rerouting the shuttles or eliminating one route completely. But one shuttle driver has his own idea for reducing campus traffic.
Trying to find solutions to the problems, but if more students just ride the bus instead of driving, then that would solve the problem right there.
Traffic problems are expected to increase as the winter weather rolls in.
The Environmental Direct Action Organization held a booth at the Student Union today to promote their November 8th elections and environmental awareness. Allie Jones, EDA's public relations officer, said they are focusing on important environmental issues to prevent the endangerment of our environment.
Helping out Greenpeace, we have a sheet to sign to support the Endangered Species Act, and we're also doing a little bit of fundraising.
If you are interested in helping with the cause, the EDA's meetings are held every Monday in the Walnut Room of the Student Union at 7:30 p.m.
The Walk Up Sky Dome will be welcoming a large audience from different cities, states, and countries tomorrow. The 39th annual inauguration will be held in honor of our 13th president, Dr. Clara Lovett. The chair of the Presidential Inaugural Committee, James R. Wick, said the inauguration will be an important event.
The inauguration of a president doesn't happen often. Most students do not have an opportunity to see a president inaugurated.
Wick also said that since this is Parents' Weekend, they expect a large turnout. The celebration is scheduled to begin at 1:30 p.m.
Are you healthy? Well, that's the question the Fronsky Health Center and the Student Health Advisory Committee were asking students of NAU. Yesterday marked the 5th year the two groups joined forces. Representatives from many health professions came out to give students information regarding their health. The dental hygiene school, physical therapy, and Planned Parenthood were just a few of the booths that students visited. If you missed the fair, don't worry. Another will be held in the spring.
Arizona pediatricians are calling for an emergency action to find homes for foster children who have been abused. The doctors say there's an extreme shortage of foster homes and emergency shelters in the Phoenix area. As a result, state officials are putting children in hospitals after they are removed from their homes by Child Protective Services. Doctors say taxpayers are spending an average of $450 a day to keep a child in the hospital, compared to an average of $18 a day for foster care.
Senator Dennis DeConcini is traveling with President Clinton to the Middle East. DeConcini says he's been in contact with some Iraqi rebel groups since arriving in Iraq on Tuesday. He says the groups told him that Iraqi President Saddam Hussein's grip on power is weak. DeConcini says he was told that Hussein cut rations in half for the general public, in addition to cutting rations to some military units.
And Vice President Al Gore will be in Phoenix and Tucson next week. Gore will make stops in Arizona's largest cities on behalf of several Arizona Democrats, including Congressman Sam Coppersmith. Coppersmith is running against John Kyle for the U.S. Senate seat being vacated by Dennis DeConcini. Coppersmith says Gore will attend a Democratic Party rally in Tucson and then a Coppersmith fundraising dinner in Phoenix.
Well, grab those car keys because you won't want to miss the start of Northern Arizona Museum's Fall Lecture Series beginning this Sunday. The museum will kick off the event with a Navajo weavings presentation. Then, on November 6th, Dry Rain, Stories from the Navajo Country will be presented. And finally, Lifeways of the Navajos will close the series on December 4th. Admission to these lectures is $4, but with a valid NAU ID, the price will be cut in half. Well, if you're a student on a tight budget, we'll give you a tip on how to save some money this holiday season.
And the U.S. mourns the loss of its first female fighter pilot. Stay tuned because there's much more coming up after this break.
The NAU Aqua Jacks look to make a big splash in the Big Sky Conference this season. We'll preview the blue and gold meet ahead on sports.
Well, you better be taking advantage of this warm weather while it lasts. I'll be back to tell you just how long that'll be later on Newswatch 4.
President Clinton addressed the Israeli parliament today in Jerusalem. He commended Israel for signing a peace treaty with Jordan 2 days ago. The president said the U.S. is ready to help Israel advance peace with its other neighbors without sacrificing security. Today was one of the busiest days so far in Clinton's six-nation tour of the Middle East.
Some Haitians are discouraged by their nation's poor economic situation. They feel improvement will be very slow. But Haitian businessmen are pleased with the changes they have been seeing so far. Although many jobs were lost during the international embargo, investors are now choosing to give the country another chance. So construction and the reopening for factories should lead to many new jobs in the future.
In South Carolina, police are still searching for 2 young boys who were kidnapped when their mother's automobile was carjacked. Susan Smith says she was at a stoplight when a man put a gun to her head and told her to drive. He later let her out of the vehicle but did not let her take the 2 young boys because he did not want to take the time. O.J. Simpson defense team is back in the court for more jury selection today. The odds of a potential juror making it through the second phase are about 1 in 2. Of the 57 potential jurors who've been interviewed, almost half have been dismissed. Most were excused because they violated Judge Ito's strict order to avoid all media. A new study out today says the use of so-called gateway drugs, such as cigarettes, alcohol, and marijuana, can lead to use of stronger drugs, such as cocaine and heroin. The study, conducted by Columbia University's Center on Addiction and Substance Abuse, found that American children ages 12 to 17 who use those substances are 250 times more likely to use cocaine. It also says adults who use gateway drugs are close to 325 times more likely to start using cocaine.
A woman in upstate New York is threatening a lawsuit if she loses her job for not wearing underwear. Nancy Wilson, who works in the New Paltz Traffic Department, says the deputy mayor ordered her to wear a bra or lose her job. Wilson says she's from the bra-burning generation and won't comply. The town's mayor says Wilson has been warned several times about her personal appearance. The mayor says the city has a law requiring employees to wear undergarments.
The first female fighter pilot died Tuesday. Her plane went down in the Pacific while she was practicing routine flight operations. The radar intercept officer in the plane with her was able to bail out, but Karen Holtgreen was not. U.S. Navy officials say this should not in any way set back the cause of women fighter pilots. Lieutenant Holtgreen was the first female fighter pilot to die in service for her country.
Well, if you haven't bought your ticket home for the holidays yet, you can still get a good deal. The airfare war is continuing. Sean Calebs has more.
Travelers, take heed. The Halloween pumpkin isn't carved yet, and airlines are already saying you are running out of time to reserve seats for holiday travel. It's a message some people have learned the hard way.
Because we've had trouble getting tickets before when we waited until too late during the holiday season.
Because the earlier you do it, the better fares you get.
A number of airlines have dramatically reduced fares on some routes. TWA has a sale that ends midnight Tuesday. Many other carriers have a sale that runs through Friday.
What happens at a sale like this is we look at the calendar, we look at those days when we have seats available, and those are the days when we have the highest discounts.
Meaning travelers who want to fly a couple of days before or after Thanksgiving or Christmas don't bank on getting a break. Those are busy days. Demand is there, and airlines will have no trouble filling the seats. You will most likely get the best deal by flying on Thanksgiving, Christmas, or New Year's Day.
Jeff and Conyers, you're on the Clark Howard Show.
Travel expert Clark Howard has a consumer-oriented radio talk show in Atlanta. He's surprised airlines are already reducing fares.
What this says to me is people aren't buying the expensive tickets right now.
There are other ways to travel. Gas prices are holding steady. Howard says many families these days rent minivans to save money on the holiday trip. Buses and trains are also offering discounts, but Howard says that isn't the best deal.
Trains are not how most people get from point A to point B because they're expensive, they're slow, and they're usually late.
He says the best way to get a discounted fare is by working through a travel agent. Airline officials say the bottom line is right now you can save money on holiday airfare, but you have to be flexible. You may not be able to take off or return on the exact day you wish, and you'll probably have to fly off hours. But in the end, the savings could add up to hundreds of dollars. Sean Caleb, CNN, Atlanta.
Newswatch 4's Club Watch reporter has the lowdown on another campus organization.
And the Lady Jacks volleyball go for another win tonight. The advancement of women has come a long way. One student group on campus is playing an important role. Club Watch reporter Shannon Sapina has the story.
The student union isn't home to just your favorite on-campus eating establishments. Many student organizations call the union home as well, and Associated Students for Women's Issues is one of them. ASWI is a group concerned with the advancement of women.
It's a group for all women on campus. It's not, you don't have to be a radical feminist in order to be a part of the organization. It's a group that is really dedicated to fighting for women's issues, whether that be the most minute issue that you could think of to a real complex feminist issue.
Through outreach and advocacy programs, this group feels that they can help the NAU community grow. Heitzman says ASWI's student education team plays an important role in that growth.
So one of our main outreach mechanisms, if you want to call it that, we do peer education programs. We try to educate people on our campus about the issues of date rape, ways to prevent it. We're also in the midst of educating the campus on peer harassment policies.
Their office is staffed 40 hours a week for students who want to get involved. They also have open meetings at 4 p.m. on Wednesdays in the union. Keeping you up to date on student groups, covering Club Watch, Shannon Sapina, Newswatch 4.
Well, sports is next.
That's right. Steve Shamel joins us after sports trivia.
Steve Shamel now joins us with sports.
Tough game ahead for the Jacks this weekend, Steve.
Very tough one, and if they want to look respectable, they got to win. Good evening. Welcome to Newswatch 4 Sports. Well, Saturday night, the Weber State Wildcats visit the Sky Dome. They bring with them one of the most potent passing attacks in the Big Sky. They'll try to air it out against the Jacks defense, which has struggled in long play situations. In the first quarter of last weekend's game, Idaho managed 3 touchdowns on long passing plays. Look for the Jacks secondary to be put on the spot this weekend. Offensively, the Jacks need to continue to pile up yardage. If Jeff Lewis can avoid throwing interceptions, we can expect an explosive offense by both teams. The Jacks need this win to go over 500 and elevate themselves to the top half of the Big Sky. The NAU Aqua Jacks dive into action Saturday at 1 p.m. in the Natatorium with the annual Blue and Gold Intra-Squad meet. The Jacks will be divided into 2 teams and compete in a scored event. Traditionally, it's an exciting meet which helps the coaching staff determine who will be on the traveling squad. Coach Pam Rogers thinks his team is in good shape.
Since I've been here, we've never been able to train as well as we have thus far since September 7th when we got in the pool, because the swimmers all trained over the summer. So they're ready to go. September 7th, we really got into our training. Now we're ending a period of preseason endurance conditioning, and we'll move into some other kinds of training. So they've held up really well. They say if you can go till November 1st uninjured, you have a really good chance of having a very solid season.
The meet will help the Jacks prepare for their first dual meet against UC Irvine and New Mexico State November 11th in Irvine, California. Well, the Lady Jacks volleyball team was singing the blues after their loss to Montana on Saturday, but they've changed their tune to On the Road Again, or maybe it's Hit the Road Jacks. Either way, they will be in transit this week, facing the 7th-ranked Boise State tonight and the 3rd-ranked Idaho Vandals on Saturday. The Lady Jacks are 3-6 in Big Sky competition with 5 conference matches left. Well, let's turn to tennis. The NAU men's and women's tennis teams are outstroking the competition these days. The women are boasting a 2-0 record, while the men are right behind at 1-0. The women are coming off a great performance at the University of New Mexico Invitational, in which Yale Stewart won the first flight. Stewart's win marks the first time in NAU history that a player has won the first flight at the UNM. We asked head coach Mark Tishner what makes his team different from last.
See, last year we only had, we had a limited number of players. Now we have more depth. So if something happens to somebody or somebody can't play, we have quality players down the line to fill in. Or and it's kind of like the competition now. Everybody's kind of fighting for a spot now to play, and I think it's made everybody better.
The team is currently preparing for the Rolex Regionals in Tucson, November 2nd through the 6th. In other NAU sports news, the cross-country team follows suit by also traveling to New Mexico for the UNM Invitational this weekend. The meet will serve as preparation for the Big Sky Conference Championships November 12th in Salt Lake City, Utah. Well, folks, it's time for sports trivia. And this question, who is #1 on the prize money list in professional tennis?
He seems the flashiest every time I watch the TV, so I'm going to have to go with Andre Agassi.
You think he was, but, by the way, he's so flashy and all. But no, it's Yvonne Lendl. The guy's made over $19 million in his career. Not a bad occupation. Maybe I should pick up a tennis racket.
Mind that.
Well, Amy Wiedoff joins us next with weather. Well, Amy Wiedoff joins us now with weather.
So, Amy, how much longer are we going to be able to enjoy this nice sunny weather we're having?
Well, definitely through the weekend, probably into most of next week. So it's not going to be really wintry for a while. I was looking today at the 30-day outlook, and it's looking like precipitation is going to go up, but that should be in rain. That shouldn't be in snow, and the temperature should go down, so we should enjoy this weather, the warmer weather, while we can. So currently it is 62 degrees, and the winds are coming out of the south at 10 miles an hour, and the barometer is 30.29 and rising. Now the dew point is 35 degrees Fahrenheit. In the nation, we're once again seeing quite warm conditions, clear conditions, and that's because of all the high pressure systems that are over the continent. The exception to that is over in Florida. We are seeing quite a bit of rain, and that's because of a low pressure system, and that's the same pressure system that we had seen in New Mexico and Texas earlier in the week. So they should be seeing quite a bit of precipitation for the next couple of days, and right here we see this high pressure system over here that's creating warmer conditions. In the central part of the country, we are seeing windy conditions, but they are still warm. And that's because of this low pressure system and this power cell that are crossing each other, causing some turbulence. In the southwest, once again, it is clear and warm because of the high pressure system. And that should continue, like I said, into next week. Now, up in the northwest, we're seeing rain once again and snow in the higher elevations, and that is the same storm that was hitting them earlier in the week, but it has just stretched out, and it's going all the way back to the Great Lakes. And we should see that for the next couple of days up in the north. This pressure system should not drop down into the south, so we should be fine. Now, in Arizona, the temperatures were very warm, even the lows. Up in the north, we were seeing 30s and 40s, and down in the southern portions, we were seeing 60s. Flagstaff came in at 32 degrees, Grand Canyon 31, Prescott with a very warm 41 degrees, and Phoenix 64 degrees. Yuma came in at a nice 65, and Show Low out in the east, it was 39 degrees. Now, Tucson was 62 degrees for their low. The highs in the state were also very nice. Up in the north, it was 60s and 70s, and down in the south, it was 80 degrees. Flagstaff was 68 degrees, Grand Canyon 67, Prescott came in at 73 degrees, and the Capitol 87. Yuma came in at a very nice 88 degrees, which was the warm spot in Arizona. Show Low had 68 for their high, and Tucson checked in at 85 degrees. Now for tonight, we should be seeing fair skies with a low of around 30 degrees. Tomorrow, we should see sunny conditions, mostly sunny, with a high of 65 degrees, and extended, we should see lows around 30 degrees and highs in the mid-60s. So we should really continue to go outside, wear shorts, because it's not going to last too much longer than after next week.
Well, since we still have this nice weather this weekend, are you planning on doing sunbathing or going to the lake or anything fun like that?
I don't know if staying in Flagstaff and sunbathing would really be that good. It might be a little chilly for that. But probably going down to Sedona, that would be pretty warm down there, probably into the higher 70s. So I'm sure you could lay out down there.
And a nice weekend to go to Phoenix,
yes,
too, huh?
Phoenix will be beautiful.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Well, the NAU campus certainly won't be a boring place for Halloween. Stay with us. We'll have the story for you next. Well, Halloween is coming up, and the Mountain campus is celebrating. Our entertainment reporter, Sue Kusin, fills us in.
Hi, I'm Sue Kusin Jansen, Newswatch 4 entertainment reporter. Halloween's just around the corner, and have you decided what you're going to go as? Well, while you're thinking about it, make sure to catch these Halloween activities on campus. On Friday night, there's the masquerade party at the old Lumberjack Gym from 9:30 to 3 a.m. Admissions is $3 with costume and $4 without. Also, Taylor Hall is having their 7th annual haunted house. On Friday night, it's from 7 to 12, Saturday night 10 to 12, Sunday night from 6 to 10, and on Halloween night, it's from 7 till the last person walks through, if they make it through alive. And it's $3 to get in also. Also, it's Parents Weekend, and if you're wondering what to do with them, take them to the new musical Into the Woods at Audrey Auditorium. On Friday night, the show starts at 8 p.m. On Saturday and Sunday, there's a matinee at 1:30. Well, if you want to gamble a little this weekend, the School of Hotel Restaurant Management is having their casino night on Friday night from 7 to 10. And The Shining is showing at Proc now at 7:30 and 9:30, and it's the free AURH movie of the month. Hope you don't have any nightmares, and have a good weekend.
So, Chris, what are you planning on doing this weekend?
Well, I don't know about you, but I must say I've got a couple parties lined up to go to. I might be going to a little dance tomorrow night, so it should be a lot of fun. I don't really have a great costume yet, but I think I can work on it.
Do you have any ideas? Anything you're planning on?
I think a hair color change might be the most severe thing. So what are you thinking about doing, Steve?
I'm going to go seek out those parties you're looking at. Hopefully I'll find them.
Invitation only.
Maybe head down to Phoenix, try to catch that Pittsburgh Cardinals game. That should be a really good one. That's on TNT on Sunday night, so everybody can watch the Cards, you know. Won't be blacked out or anything.
No.
So, and what about this weather? Is it going to last through the whole weekend?
Yes, definitely into Monday and Tuesday probably. So if there's any precipitation, it won't be until next week, later into the week.
Sounds good, so maybe we can all go to Phoenix and work on a tan, too.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Well, good evening. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on Newswatch 4.
Support for this evening's programming is brought to you in part by The Lumberjack, your source for campus and local news. The Lumberjack, serving Northern Arizona for 80 years. The NAU Bookstore, just a few steps away right here on campus, offering a tremendous selection of textbooks, merchandise, and computers. The NAU Bookstore.
Of all the crimes that take place on the NAU campus, theft from dorm rooms is one of the most widespread. The average dorm room has many valuables that a thief would be all too happy to steal, from TVs to cash. If you are in the habit of leaving your door unlocked when you leave your room, even just to visit a friend down the hall, you may someday return to find that somebody has visited while you were gone. If something is stolen from your room, NAU Risk Management says that you should contact the NAU Police Department immediately and file a report. But you can avoid all that. Using common sense is your first line of defense.
Now, of all the ways to prevent dorm room theft, your best bet is to simply lock your door. Chris Jansen, Newswatch 4.